believe that we all in this room, we have heard the term quality pillars of shipping and IMO. We all know the conversions included in this term. Since the subject is well known, someone could easily question if there is any necessity to look into such a topic. The answer comes from the phrase of Albert Einstein: learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not stop questioning. It is clear that we need to look into the past in order to identify where we stand today. And in order to define tomorrow, we need to start questioning today. I had an idea today to blow the IMO, so it's something innovative, but it's an idea. The 4 pillars. The subject is huge, so today we will briefly see the 4 pillars, which are SOLAS, MARPOL, STCW, and MLC. SOLAS is the conversion related to safety of life at sea. MARPOL, the conversion for preventing of pollution at sea. STCW, the ones that define the training, certification needs seafarers must have depending on their rank, type of vessel on which will they serve. And finally, MLC, the youngest of all conversion, is related to working conditions and seafarer rights. All four together set the framework of how we do business today. For example, how many life-saving appliances we need to have on board? What kind of equipment should a vessel have in order to prevent with sea pollution incidents? What are the onboard procedures we need to follow? What certificate seafarers should get every time they get on a different type of vessel? Okay. SOLAS, the pillar number 1. The conversion considered to be the most important out of 4. The reason, of course, is because the range of subject that it covers. It includes several regulations under different SOLAS chapters, which deal with safety precaution, safety procedures, starting from the construction of the ship to real emergency like abandon. The conversion is updated from time to time to meet the safety norms in modern shipping industry. The first version was adopted in 1914 after the disaster of Titanic. In the next slide, we will see a small video of the Titanic and point out some key factors. We will not try to do an accident analysis, of course, but we will take a look of some remarkable figures and facts which are alert the industry and move to the adoption of SOLAS conversion. On April 14 in 1912, at her maiden voyage, Titanic was moving from Southampton to New York with a speed of 22 knots when it suddenly hit an iceberg and sank. It took 3 years to be built and less than 3 hours to be sunk. It was considered to be the safest ship at that time because it could hold her floating ability even with 4 out of 16 watertight compartments had taken water in. From 64 lifeboats that it could carry, only 20 were placed on board, which were enough to take only half of the passenger in case of emergency. 100 people died in the frozen water of Atlantic Ocean. That is 68% of total on board. That tragedy shocked the world and challenged many old ideas about technology and safety. The outcome, SOLAS. SOLAS, as we said in the beginning, is considered to be the most critical conversion out of 4 because of the range of areas it covers. From fire protection, fire detection, fire extinguishing, life-saving appliance, arrangements, radio communication, GMTSS, SART, EPIRP, ISM code, ISPS, all of them are included in SOLAS. MARPOL, the number 2 pillar, is about the conversion for preventing and minimize pollution from ships that can be made accidentally or by routine operation. SOLAS and MARPOL is considered to be the safety and environmental protection tools of IMO. What led the industry to adopt MARPOL? What was the point of non-return? Torrey Canyon, another ship, another incident. Torrey Canyon ran aground in March 1967 in southern part of England. In 2 weeks' time, 120 gross registered tons of crude oil went into the sea. That quantity is 3 times the quantity of Exxon Valdez incident in Alaska. At that time, an incident with oil tankers was happening every 2 weeks on average. The problem with the autopilot and the decision of the master to pass through the islands and not to clearly avoid them in order to get early in the port brought the disaster. The chapters of MARPOL, 6 chapters, which in Annex number 1, it clearly stated about the double hulls. We moved from single hull to double hulls. For noxious liquid substance, we go to harmful substance in a package, the MTG code, the sewage treatment plan, different kind of sewage treatment plant we have on board, the garbage management plant, and NOx, SOx, then greenhouse, which is a new thing. STCW, the number 3 pillar, is a conversion related that is set the standard of training, certification, and watchkeeping for the seafarers. It's separated into 2 sections, Part A and Part B. Part A is the mandatory one, which specify the minimum standards needed to be maintained, and Part B, which is the guidelines which assist in the correct implementation of the STCW. The areas that it covers a mandatory certificate for officers of watch, chief officer, master of more than 500 tons and more. Also, it covers for the coastal waters, for the officers and masters, the deck ratings, navigation, which obliged to make navigational watch and those not. It applies also to engineers. Depends from the kilowatt in that case. GMTSS, radio operators, oil tankers, specific trainings, LNG, for chemicals, for safety, basic safety, advanced safety, and medical care, ship security officer, designated security duties, security awareness, and so on. MLC, pillar number 4. Last but not least, this conversion offers to the seafarers decent working condition and is applicable worldwide. It also ensures protection of seafarer rights and provides decent living conditions. The cover areas of MLC, from minimum age, medical certificate, training, certification, recruitment and placement, seafarer employment agreement, wages, hours of rest, accommodations, medical care on board, ship owner liability, health and safety protection and accident prevention, authorization of recognition organization, on-board complaints procedures. All of them are included in MLC. As we all understood by now, in order to move forward and adopt the pillars, unfortunately, we had to learn the hard way through the happening of a lot of incidents. Nowadays, what are our resulting losses? In the figure on the screen, you can see that total losses in shipping from 132 in 2009 were reduced to 46 in 2018. In percentage, the losses were reduced by 65%. This definitely shows where we stand today, and great progress has occurred. But as we said in the beginning, we need to question what we do today if we want to define tomorrow. Are we in a correct and safe path? Do the results leave us satisfied? Can we do better? What do we need to change? Can we use better practices to reduce even further the losses? Does the regulator need to increase the minimum criteria. Thank you very much for your time.